oh, let's just all go, oh. Okay, now let's do it and go on. Sort of, an acknowledgement that some things are just not fun, but you have to listen to directions or the recipe won't work. Some things we just have to do, and it's not going to be the fun part. So let's make that part shorter and make the fun part longer. Are we on time, Lydia?
4:25 on us.
So the next page was the ignoring, which Allison explained how we ignore behavior. And this last page is all the work of someone named Thomas Gordon. He has a couple of books that are everywhere and a website. It's either called Teacher Effectiveness Training or Parent Effectiveness Training. And it's all about helping people learn to solve their own problems, but being supportive. So again, like I mentioned with iMessages, you have to figure out who owns the problem. Is this the child's problem or my problem? And then you can decide which of these techniques. If it's the child's problem, use this active listening, right? They're telling you about their problem, so you listen, but you listen actively. It's more than just passively looking at them and nodding your head. In active listening, after the person tells you their problem, you try to repeat it back. You're checking, you're saying, I heard you. I can repeat it back, so I was really listening. I'm trying to hear for the feelings behind the words. And also checking in. So a child tells me their problem. They might use a feeling or they might not. I can't tell you how you feel, but I can ask you. So it was really frustrating when you lost the knife and you didn't get to finish cutting up the celery for the salad. Were you feeling frustrated? So you would ask the question. I never say to people, you're angry, you're sad. Even the textbook that I love, I teach from right now, has this whole chapter which says that aggressive behavior comes from anger. I've been teaching children for a really long time. Sometimes aggression comes from frustration, from fear, Fear, yeah, I've seen many children respond aggressively because they were afraid. So we never tell people how they feel and we never assume, but we check in. With active listening, people really feel heard. If you've ever worked retail, when people are returning things, you get that person who's going, but it doesn't work. I read the directions. I took it out of the package. They want somebody to hear them. And if you just keep saying, okay, they don't think you heard them. You say, I heard, it sounds really frustrating to have bought that, got it home, and there was a part missing or the directions didn't match up with the pieces. I understand your frustration. Now let's get into the... So you do active listening so you can get into problem solving. But unless people feel heard, they can't solve their problem. They have to sort of get it all out there. You have to say, I understand, I want to help you. Then you can actually solve their problem. You have to get out of the feeling, right? Our emotions cloud our ability to use our cognitive skills. So you got to get the feeling out there, clear the air. You see, emotions are like a big cloud, and they come up, and you can't get to any of your logic. So sort of wipe away the cloud of feeling, and then people can get more logical. All right, it's not my problem, it's yours, but I'm going to help you think of some potential solutions. What can we do here? They're asking me today, they have all the stilts, I don't have any. Why are you telling me I don't have any stilts? Oh, Lydia, can I be next with the stilts? Exactly. If it's not your problem, you don't have to solve it for them, but you're going to help them stay there until they took turns, and then we moved on to the next thing. Remember, it's about to power and feeling in control. You need to feel like they can solve some problems with your help and support. Do you want to try an active listening response? Yes. Okay. For me, this is one page. It'll be toward the back. For me, it's on page 17. 14. So at the top on page 14, it says active listening. So we're restating. So if you go down instead of trying to read all that text to this little you feel when using active listening, you want to be sure you understand the content and the feeling behind the content. So there's one example. You feel disrespected when Uche criticizes your work. So it's you reflecting back. So often when I do this, I have people think of whatever their living situation is, roommate, family members, something that's happening, and they tell me about it, and then I reflect back. Does that make sense? So you say something about how your roommate's cat pooed on the couch and they didn't clean it up. However you would feel about that. So let's just practice for a minute. Is there an even number of participants? You guys could do it. Allison, would you match up? Or I'll match up with somebody. Just think of a suggestion, and it will be brief since we're practicing. And then all the other person, their responsibility is just to repeat back. You can just, the synopsis, right? You don't have to say everything they said, just the meat of the situation. And then if they told you how they feel, you repeat it back. So you felt really, or that must have felt terrible that you were. If they don't give you a feeling, where'd you make a guess? Wow, I'd be really frustrated. Were you frustrated? So that makes sense for you two guys, you guys? So who wants to decide who wants to go first in telling the problem and answering? Do you want to tell the problem? Sure. You guys ready? Do you want me to do it or you want to do it? Okay.
So we're just going to...
You guys want to match up too? So one of you gets to tell a problem, and the other person is going to practice that active listening response. Just briefly, whatever she tells you, you're going to repeat back the meat of it, not every detail. And then either repeat back the feeling she told you or make a guess about what her feelings. I usually just say about people's living situations, because usually it's going to be about the laundry or the dishes or the bike in the driveway. It's just an easy thing to get understand.
Very frustrating. I would make me feel embarrassed if I didn't know you were trying to do.
I have to wash my dish towel before I can't
What did you say?
I like to laundry is like things about if I had to wash the dishes. You know what I mean?
People feel heard and you feel that sense of empathy, and empathy is really important in relationships, trying to understand, especially between you and a child. They often feel like you're an adult, so you don't understand, right? And it's saying, I am trying to understand, I do care, I am going to listen. And this will often happen in a group project where they're telling on another. Talk to each other. Let's try to work it out. You can come and talk to me. I'll hear your feeling, then I'll help you solve the problem. But somebody is listening. I do care. I do want to
basically keeping
did you get the switch?
that you want to
Well, again, an issue with a child that you want to vent. Okay, let's vent the vibe.
Well, I've been at my current job for a very long time, and I feel that I should be getting a raise, and my boss should never. And unappreciated. I would encourage you. I like all of that administrative thing. How did that make you feel? But how did it feel when you didn't get the raise? So that's really specific. Like, I really heard you. There's not the generic that. I didn't hear what you say, but your body language. I was really listening. It's good though that you heard
If you haven't switched roles back, then everybody get a chance to give There were no family situations up here for the dreaded boss problem. Might be a little dicey for the three of us here. Where did the sheets go? And then some kids got a line all over one of the pads, and I was just like, why need this? I don't know why we got this tall. In plates, in like lots of things. I mean, I like all of them.
is the challenge for you is I don't really like getting too much headache for it. It's not